You get a lot of credit when things are going well. You get a lot of blame when things aren't going well.
Yeah. Well, the president certainly enjoyed taking credit when things were going well. He did that a couple of months ago. July 4th celebrated freedom from the virus. Ian, it's interesting. The Biden administration, for whatever you think of their policies, positively or negatively, they don't leak. They've got some very shrewd operators who have a lot of experience. You think about Ron Klein, who's been around Washington, the chief of staff at the White House for decades. They know how to run things. Are you surprised they got so far behind the curve on these big issues?
I mean, I'm not convinced that they are all that far behind the curve. The problem is, with the border stuff, that's of their own making. But they were always going to do that, right? That was a big part of the pitch. That was part of the appeal. They were going to return to Obama levels of cruelty, right, which were extremely high. But that was part of the pitch. Afghanistan, I don't think anybody really cares, and I think that they know that. I think that they knew the whole time, yeah, of course the Taliban is probably going to overrun the country, and no one cares. So I think they're probably fine with it, and they've known that the whole time. Now, the virus stuff, that's a lot worse. That is something where I think they really have found themselves behind the curve. I thought, and I think a lot of people thought, that 4th of July, right, this was the plan. Independence from the virus, and we're going to get it, and we have these vaccines rolling out right on time, just like we want. And then this variant comes out, and all of a sudden, you've got pockets of resistance. You've got a lot of people who don't want to get vaccinated. And as it turns out, not for any dishonest reason, but there are breakthrough infections. The efficacy of the mRNA vaccines starts to drop a little faster than we wanted. And then I do think they've gotten surprised, and I'm not sure that they really have a clear idea of what to do about that.
Well, the one thing they did do is they started chastising the reporting on it. They chastised the New York Times and CNN as well. David, real quick, I only got about 30 or 40 seconds. Do you agree with Ian that Afghanistan comes and goes, Kabul falls, the U.S. Embassy burns, and there's a big yawn in America?
I agree with him that there's a big yawn in America based on what they see now. But if the results of what we're seeing become a threat to the homeland, all of a sudden it is Biden's problem and voters will hold him responsible. And on the virus, I think that there's nothing he necessarily could have done, but because he ran on shutting down the virus, Americans are going to hold him responsible. If the virus is not shut down, they're going to credit him if it is, even if neither of those things are are something he deserves to get credit for.
Interesting conundrum. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Ian and David, we'll have you guys both back. Thank you.